What's good, Wagering World? It's your boy Five Star in Vegas, broadcasting live as always from beautiful Summerlin, Nevada. In here with my guy, Spread ASTAIRE, the only Sacramento Kings fan that I know. What's good, man?
Hey, we got some good stuff going on with Sacramento right now as Jensen Brooksby's a breakup against Daniil Medvedev's, right? So maybe we can turn this town into tennis fans after the
Hey,
abomination that Vivek Ranadive is putting out on the court.
yeah, Jensen Brooksby is that kid can play. I hit you with the reverse jinx yesterday on Twitter. I thought he had sold it, man. He was real upset because he had blew an opportunity to end that match. He was serving for the match and he smoked it. And I really thought that he had kind of said, like, F it, I'm just going to mail it in. He was pouting a little bit, but he went down 2 breaks, dude, 4-1, and all of a sudden got it together who was he playing? RBC? Was that his name? Who was he playing?
It was Roberto Batista Agut. Yeah, and one
Yeah,
thing about
RBG,
Brooksby,
excuse me.
he never gives up. He never gives up. That's one
Yeah,
good thing about
Brooksby
Brooksby.
fought, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Is he gonna just quit so I can get my money back? Because if you're just not gonna play it,
Oh yeah.
bro." He turned it on all of a sudden, and he was impressive. When he got his rhythm, he was putting the ball wherever he wanted on him. He was owning him on his serve and everything. It was very impressive. He won 6 straight games. It was very impressive. Oh no,
Yep.
5 straight. Excuse me, five
No, it was
straight.
6. It was 4-0. He was down 4-0.
Yeah, it was 6. That's right.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. It was 4-0. And he came through for him, so I can't be mad at him at all. Let's get back to yesterday's news, man. We both had some really heartbreaking losses yesterday, and I love it because we can teach a great lesson. I'm sorry if you guys lost a little money on it, but this is a great teaching point. Remember, on this show, we don't take L's. We only take lessons. So what happened with yours, Spirit?
Man, this Chicago Bulls team is just, I don't know what to make of them, man. Felt good, man. I'm watching, they built a big lead and they just absolutely blew it here. And give credit to the New York Knicks, who I had written off as being, eliminated from the playoffs, even though it wasn't official. But this team continues to fight, and make their city proud as the season ends. And I know that the Bulls definitely miss Lonzo Ball, but regardless, man, you're fighting for playoff position, and to give up a lead in that manner, really, boy, you got to wonder how this team's going to do in the playoffs after being the talk of the NBA. And it's funny. So I was down on the Bulls to start the year, right? I did a couple pieces, went on video talking about it. I didn't think that the additions they made were good additions to this team, right? I thought they were kind of superfluous and just window dressing, but not enough to make them a real contender. So I'm issuing apologies, right, and walking it back. I should have just stuck to my guns. Everything I said about this team is turning out to be true. They're all offense. They can't get stops when it needs it, and if the shot's not falling, they're not going to win. So that was definitely a frustrating loss for me yesterday with the Chicago Bulls. But we move on, and I like my play today, so I think we're going to get it back today on the show.
But I'm about to make you laugh because if you remember, you gave out KUDERMETOVA. You didn't give out the Bulls.
Oh my gosh, this is a great show today. I did give out KUDERMETOVA. The Bulls was my other pick.
Yeah,
Today,
it's
and that's what I
okay,
was going
man. It's
between.
okay.
It
You
was
got
that
so
kind of
much
day.
basketball
Yeah.
shows going on. The people understand, man. The people understand, man. You do a
Oh
basketball
man.
show after basketball show every morning. It happens. I was talking about KUDERMETOVA because, as you know, she had the game on her rack and she could have served for the set twice because
Yeah.
we both better, and she blew both sets. Literally, she was up a break in both sets and had an opportunity to close out each set and ended up losing both sets.
But
Let's talk about that a little bit.
I mean, boy, I was disappointed, right? And I have a lot of friends that rank KUDERMETOVA higher than I do, right? And I never trust her, right? And then I've been going against her, and she's been doing really good this season, right? She's made 2 finals this year. She's up in the 20s in her ranking, and she's got the power to hang with Kvitova, right? I mean, when things are going well, right, she can sit there and blast with her. She's not bothered by the pace. That was a completely mental loss, and it was something that I thought that we had moved past her, right, with this recent success. I said, okay, she's finally getting it together. Whatever's going on with the coach slash husband, whatever, she's getting it going, right, and she's playing to her full potential. And I'll be honest, I didn't think Kvitova, like, obviously she played well, but it wasn't like this
She
red
didn't
line
play well at
performance.
all, man.
Yeah,
She just was able to hold her composure on big points. That's all it
yeah,
was. That's all it
yeah,
was. She let KUDERMETOVA do all the work for her. She just sat
yeah.
back and let her make error after error. She just at one point on big points, man, was just getting the ball over. That's all. We
Yeah,
watched the
and
match.
that's not her style, which shows
No,
how strong she is mentally, right? To just say, "Hey, why am I going to bother beating this player? Why am I going to play her game? She can't, she can't beat me."
right.
So, you know, gosh, yeah, I was obviously a frustrating day for me yesterday. Lost all my plays yesterday, so I'm looking forward to getting back on track tonight.
That's okay. You went 5-0 last week, so hey, you got a little room for error. And
Yeah,
I dealt with the same thing. Not only did we deal with KUDERMETOVA, if you guys bet KUDERMETOVA and watched the match, you saw it was so frustrating for all of us who took her because she had the game on her record, as we said. She just didn't come through. Now, I was dealing with a game where these guys had the game won at least 4 times. At least 4 times South Alabama had that game won. First in regular, in the regular part of the game before overtime, and they had a 4-point lead with a minute left. Ended up blowing it and allowing them to hit a 3-pointer with about 10 seconds left to take the game into overtime. After they hit the 3-pointer and go into overtime, they still have possession. Instead of running a good play, he takes a horrible shot. They go to overtime. Overtime, they're up 3 points with about 20 seconds left. Coastal Carolina shoots. They get the rebound. When they get the rebound, the guy allows them to trap them in the backcourt and get an 8-second violation. Give the ball back to Coastal Carolina instead of calling a timeout. Even if you didn't have a timeout, just throw it to the other end of the court and keep it in bounds. Just throw it. You got several people. Throw it up. The clock's your friend. Do not get an 8-second call at this moment of the game. So now he gives them the ball with about 6 seconds left on their side of the court on a ball out. They run a play horribly, so sloppy. The guy who's passing the ball, to show you how bad our look was yesterday, the ball, he misses the guy because the guy doesn't get through the kick. So the ball's just randomly bouncing around the court. Somebody from South Alabama, I'm thinking at any moment, is going to flash at the screen, grab it, go take it for a dunk. Guess what happened? It dribbles right to a guard for all the way across the floor, slowly from one angle to the next corner of the 3-point line. The guy picks it up, looks at the clock, bounces one time, and just nails like a 35-foot 3-pointer. Like perfect form, like as the clock runs out. No time left. I said, win by 1 point.
unbelievable.
Unbelievable. So yesterday
It's
was
like a
just one of
movie.
those days.
The
It was
ball's
like a movie.
bouncing, it goes
Dude,
slow
if they were
motion.
doing, I know if they were doing the you know how they do the win percentages during the game? It had
Oh
to be
yeah, it would be like
99.
90 something. Yeah.
Oh, it was 99.7 at least the whole by the end of the game and of regulation and overtime. But we move on. We turn the page. Now let's get some money today, man. We back to the NBA today?
Yeah, we're back on the NBA, man.
Okay.
There's a couple plays I like in the Miami Open, but I don't love them. But I really like this play a lot. This is definitely my favorite play on the board today. And I'm taking the Milwaukee Bucks. They're heading to
Okay.
Philadelphia to take on the 76ers. This is a great game. Both teams 46 and 28 on the year, tied right now for second, 1-1 against each other. And we know that the head-to-head determines the first tiebreaker, right? So in these cases where they're non-division opponents, they play 3 times. This will determine the tiebreak. So, right, if they end up with the same record at the end of the year, the winner of tonight's game will have the edge in the seedings. There's a lot of great things you can say about both teams, but I think the teams have shown that you can let Joel Embiid go off and still beat the Philadelphia 76ers. He needs
Yes.
help from these supporting guys. I mean, I've seen him drop 38 and 15, and a loss this year. Multiple times, right? I mean, the
Yeah.
guy's just been unstoppable. But teams know, hey, we got to shut down these other guys, and that's of course James Harden and Tyrese Maxey. And I think the Bucks have the guy to do it in Jrue Holiday, one of the best defenders in the NBA, right? And you guys are familiar with him, watching him down in the Pelicans, where he was kind
Yep.
of unheralded for all the great things he was doing. But now he's on the spotlight, and we're getting a chance to see what a great defender is. The guy's really physical, but he doesn't use his hands to let Harden draw those fouls that he likes to draw. So I think it's going to come down to that. The ability of the secondary pieces to score, and even if they use the pick and roll to try and shed him, right? With Middleton, Grayson Allen, they got multiple different guys that can probably give Harden some problems here. Also, Milwaukee, I think, will be playing a little more loose, a little more free. I think Philadelphia has more pressure on them. Number one, they don't have rings on their finger yet.
Right.
They're in a city that they blow up and get crazy off every single loss, right? And it's not the nicest media or fan environment, right? So a lot more pressure there on the Philadelphia 76ers. I think Milwaukee Bucks have a great opportunity here to kind of secure that second seed in the East and get the victory. So I'm on the Milwaukee Bucks money line tonight.
Okay, sounds good. So spread's going with the Bucks money line on the road at Philly. Quick question, spread of those two teams. We know that they're both with the same record can get the second place uh, in the East. The second place winner in the East has a pretty dubious playoff task because they'll face the winner so far. What it looks like going to be out the Nets and the Cavs for a playing game, which everyone knows that's Cavs all day. Excuse me, Nets all day at Cleveland. They're going to beat them pretty bad. I expect in the playoffs, especially missing their star center. I'm sure Kyrie Irving and KD aren't losing to Cleveland in the playoffs, especially with Kyrie Irving, his past with Cleveland, and how the fans and them have a little bone with each other. So I expect New Jersey to, Brooklyn, pardon me, not Brooklyn, sorry. Brooklyn, that's how long we've been watching NBA,
Yeah.
right? New Jersey Nets, the Brooklyn Nets to beat Cleveland in the play-in game, and then they would face the second place team. So I'm really interested to see if the Bucks or the Sixers want to be the second place team. As we spoke about a little bit earlier off air, you were saying that the Bucks don't really fear anybody, but I really think Doc Rivers is strategic. He did this with the Clippers in the West, tried to lose certain games and set things up where he can get the matchups that he wanted in the playoffs. It didn't work out too well for him long term, but
It usually doesn't. It
mm-hmm,
usually doesn't. I think
yeah,
there's one way to run your sports franchise. That's pedal to the metal. Always win.
that's
Winning
right,
culture. No fear of anyone. We're the best. If we play our game, we're going to win. And I think the Bucks have embraced that. And you don't know why? It's because their leader embraces that, and that's Giannis, right? The guy doesn't work out with other guys in the offseason, right? He's
right,
not. He had a chance to go to Los Angeles or Dallas or a major media market and win a title. He said, "No, I don't want to be second fiddle to Luka or LeBron. I want to be the man, right?" And
right.
that's not the same attitude that a lot of these NBA players have. And I think that's one of the reasons that they were able to win the title last year. And to me, they're the favorite to come out of the East this year. So I think that's you make a good point. That's another reason to give the Bucks the edge tonight. I think they want that 2 seed a lot more, right? Where
Right.
Philadelphia, they might say, "Hey, we don't mind losing tonight." So it'll be really interesting. But I also wonder if Philadelphia knows, hey, we also need some mental wins here too, right? Like I don't know. It's a team that if they're going to get out of the East, they're most likely going to have to beat the Bucks. I wonder if they want to get that W under their belt. So it'll be interesting to see how Doc approaches this one tonight. But
If
regardless,
I'm not mistaken, when he was with the Celtics, I want to say at the end of the year, he didn't play many of his guys. He used to prepare more for the playoffs. So
yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if he takes that same strategy. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if late before that game starts that Embiid and Harden sit down. I don't think the Sixers want to win. I think that Doc Rivers is going to show his hand, and especially if they do play and the Bucks get on them early, I see him sitting them. I don't think they want any part of the Nets in the first round of the playoffs. I'm serious. I don't think they want any parts of them. And Bucks better be careful what they wish for because they could very well be a champion that goes home the first round if they're not on their A game against the
right,
Nets with the type of
yeah,
offensive power that they have over there. If they lock it down on defense, and you know how the playoffs is, it becomes just a man-on-man type situation. I put a healthy Kyrie Irving, a healthy KD up against anyone. As you saw what happened last year with a healthy KD, a half healthy Harden, and a no Kyrie. He was 1 inch from taking them out the playoffs. KD was. So I think that the Nets have been waiting all year to get at the Bucks. So if I was the Bucks, I'd be trying to dodge them in the first round as well. I try to want to play them maybe in the Eastern Conference Finals, but we'll see. It's going to be very interesting as this NBA season plays out. I'm going as usual to the college basketball landscape. We got the NITs tonight. We're rolling with the veterans. St. Bonaventure, man, -1.5 and money line -123. I'm seeing the numbers rising, so you guys get it as soon as possible. Maybe 2.5 by the time you guys catch it. and minus 140 or so. If it is, still take both. We call this the single game split, where we make sure we get a short spread, but we also get the money line in case Vegas gets a little jinky on us. We got a better team with St. Bonaventure right now than Xavier. Xavier's played all of his NIT games at home. They played well against Florida, but the other two games they struggled. They barely won against Vanderbilt, and they barely won against little Cleveland State. So Xavier was a team that had a very, very tough stretch leading into getting chosen to the NIT. That's why they didn't make the tournament. After a hot start at the beginning of the year, I want to say they lost, what was it, 2, 3, 4, eight out of the last 10 before going into the Big East tournament where they were put out in the first round. And also, if you remember, against Xavier had a game. Well, they won the first round. They lost to Butler. Excuse me. They beat Georgetown. If you remember, against Butler, they had the game, and then Paul Scruggs did a silly move. They were up 2 points. Time's running out. He had played the game of his life, made some unbelievable shots to put them in a position to win, and does an intentional foul. Just slipped up and pulled a move like the cat for that he used to play with LeBron did.
J.R. Smith?
J.R. Smith. He pulled a J.R. Smith. He fouled a guy not knowing time and situation. The guy nails the 2 free throws. Butler dominates in overtime. Xavier doesn't make the NCAAs. On top of that, Scruggs has been their best player in NIT because that kind of, I guess, motivated him because he knows he's been the laughing stock of the campus for doing that. Just how that looks been this season. He blows his ACL last game. So he won't be in New York suited up, and he's their best player. He's their most clutch scorer. They're going to struggle against a veteran, say, Bonaventure team who's not going to be afraid of them because they both came from the A10. They used to be in the same conference for years until about 2015. Programs that are very familiar with each other. I expect St. Bonaventure to pull away in the second half with their veteran guards. St. Bonaventure, as just like Xavier, was a team that everyone thought would be a tournament team. A lot of veteran players. I liked them all season. They were really, really good last year. This year, they had their bumps in the road, but they started making a little move at the end of the year. And I really thought they were going to win the A10 tournament so that they could get into the NCAAs. But their best free throw shooter and probably best scorer on the team, Lofton, he missed 2 free throws, down 1 against St. Louis in the semifinals of the A10. So St. Louis ended up winning that game and going ahead to win the tournament and going to the NCAAs instead of St. Bonaventure. But it has really inspired St. Bonaventure. Now they've won 3 straight on the road in NIT. They haven't been at home one time, man. They won 3 tough games. At Colorado, they beat me. At Oklahoma, I was with them. And at Virginia, I was with them for the game. I lost the first half on that one. But St. Bonaventure is a strong team. They're veteran-led. A lot of senior players on that team. They play defense. I expect them to step up tonight, and I expect them to beat an Xavier team who's going to be soft down low. I don't know if Nunge is going to be the right matchup for the center for St. Bonaventure. Nunge is a more finesse player, like to step out on the 3-point line, but down low, I think that they're going to dominate the boards. And I really expect the wings for St. Bonaventure, the senior wings, to all step up and play well. So we'll be riding with the Bonnies tonight against an injury-riddled Xavier team in the first game of the NIT tonight.
All right.
I had to get a drink, man. I was losing my voice.
That was a good spiel there. I love it. All right. So I got that one in there. Of course, we're running with the Bucks too, and we're going to parlay them together. We're getting back on track today, man. I'm real excited about this.
Definitely, guys. I apologize. I had a little situation with my computer, so I'm on the phone now. So if I'm at a crazy angle, if it looks like I look like crazy eyes, like my eyes are going one way when I'm speaking to you, it's because the damn phone is sitting sideways on the stand while I'm recording it. But like my guy Spread said, it's all about getting you guys the information. That's the most important thing, man. We're not here to be models, so we're gonna get you guys this information tonight. My guy Spread, he already told you take the Bucks. I like that a lot on the road against a weak Philly team. How about the Rockets? What a trade. Perfect trade time for Harden. Harden looked like half the player he was in Houston just 2 years ago. This fast, and Jalen Green, as you saw last night, is on the uprise, baby. Jalen Green is about to be a superstar in the NBA. Great trade by the Rockets. And we're going with St. Bonaventure, -1.5 and -123. It might be -2.5, -140 when you catch it. But still, lad, it's all to the good. Best of luck to you all. Let's get back on this winning streak. Follow my guy, Spread, at Spread ASTAIRE on Twitter. Follow me at 5-Star in Vegas. Please spell out the 5. You guys also subscribe to our YouTube channel. His is Spread ASTAIRE. Mine is 5-Star in Vegas, Sports Investments. We're here every day on SCOON TV, Monday through Friday, giving out the winners. This is the best 15 minutes of sports betting, guys. Get with us. Best of luck to y'all. Talk to you tomorrow.